Disclaimer. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, J.K. Rowling went snicker-snack. Parts of this chapter are quoted from Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Hermione dug through her expanded handbag and found a first aid manual, which she frantically flipped through to find the page she needed. Come on, where is it? She muttered to herself. Aha! Oral rehydration therapy. Oh, I'll need sugar too, and baking soda? Yes, baking soda. And I think I still have that potassium chloride. Yes, there it is. Harry, did you ever give Bill the bezoar?
Crap, Harry said. Didn't have time when the Inferi attacked. He rushed over to Fleur and gave her the bezoar. She used a spell to make Bill swallow it while she was trying to clean him up. What about you, Harry? Sirius said. I'll live, he said.
You drank that potion too, Hermione sniffed. You'd better give him one too, Sirius, if you have one. We still don't know what the hell that was. If either of them get worse, we'll have to take them to Snape. Now, 1 liter of water, she read from the page and mixed the ingredients. 2.6 grams of table salt, 2.9 grams of baking soda, 1.5 grams of potassium chloride. She thanked God she'd never bothered to take that out of her stuff after her project on Camp Slaw. She guessed healers had fancy potions to deal with this, but they didn't have any on hand. And 13.5 grams of glucose. If glucose is not available, an equal molar fraction of 25.2 grams of sucrose may be substituted. She spooned 6 teaspoons of sugar into the bowl of water and stirred, then offered it to Bill. He was barely responsive, but he drank it so greedily that Fleur had to slow him down, and Hermione started mixing a second bowl at once. Hermione, are you okay? Asked George when she finally got a moment to stop and rest. Yes, I'm fine, George. Well, physically anyway. I barely got hurt at all down there. I'm confused, said Fred. If Bill needs water, why are you giving him salt? Basic first aid training. He's sweated most of the salts out of his system, she said. If his sodium and potassium levels drop too low, it could make his nervous system fail and stop his heart. The twins gasped in horror, but she reassured them. Don't worry, Muggles figured out how to treat this ages ago. He'll be fine. Harry, meanwhile, was given a much milder purgative potion, followed by a bezoar and a bowl of Hermione's rehydration solution. Sirius insisted on treating him and getting him cleaned up before he told their story, and not without reason. It was pretty clear that you-know-who's potion had aggravated the dehydrating effects of the purgative in some way. It would be just like him to cut off the first-line method of treatment. Of course, there were any number of reasons vomiting might not be the best treatment for poisoning, but it would have seemed logical for most potions. Stupid man, Fleur chastised her husband. You should have realized the potion was a dehydratant. Unknown potion, Bill gasped. Had to take the chance. And you, she glared at Harry and Hermione. You dragged my husband off after some mission and nearly get him killed. Fleur, Bill stopped her. Not their fault. Had to do it. And you didn't tell me why, she said. We had to get an artifact that we need to defeat you-know-who, Fleur, Harry said. That's what we were working on with Dumbledore. He trailed off as she didn't look convinced. Sirius, should we tell her? He asked. Sirius looked at Hermione, who shrugged. Fred and George didn't react. She is a Gringotts employee, Sirius answered. She knows how to keep a secret. Bill nodded and pulled Fleur's head down towards him. He whispered in her ear, and she turned very pale. Non, she gasped, but he nodded his affirmative. Plus done? Oui. Mas combien? 6, he lied. This is the 4th. So you will have 2 more of these missions? She said worriedly. 1, Hermione corrected. 1 is you-know-who's snake. He keeps it with him. The other, unfortunately, we don't have any leads on at all. Well, we know what it is, Harry pointed out. Helga Hufflepuff's cup. Yes, but we don't know where. You-know-who stole it 50 years ago. Just have to figure something out, Bill said weakly. Luckily, Harry and Bill seemed to be recovering from the effects of the potion. Nonetheless, Sirius insisted on a consultation with Snape before letting them go, and Fleur concurred.
Harry achieved this by calling Ginny on his mirror and asking her to talk to him. This was singularly unpleasant. Ginny chewed out him, Bill, and Hermione for all of their real and perceived mistakes on the mission, until she sounded like she herself wasn't sure whom she was angriest at for getting who hurt. After that, Harry told her to take the mirror to Snape in secret, which she reluctantly agreed to.
"Fine, but if he kills me, I'm haunting you," she huffed.
When they spoke to Snape, he was naturally unhappy at being disturbed, and he was downright livid when Harry described the events in the cave.
"Idiot boy!" he snapped. "Why must you be so infuriatingly noble? You're exceedingly lucky you didn't find yourself trapped in that cave, unable to move until you were torn to pieces."
After sitting through yet another drawn-out rant, they managed to wheedle out of Snape that, no, if they'd recovered thus far, they didn't need any additional treatment. He recognized the potion, and it was designed to torture, not to kill. Somehow that didn't make anyone feel better.
"Well, that's that then," Sirius concluded. "Rest tonight. Tomorrow we'll see if we can sort all this out."
The next morning the group gathered again after breakfast. Everyone outside of Hogwarts who knew about the Horcruxes aside from you-know-who himself. Now that they were rested, though Harry and Bill were still weak, Sirius, Fleur, and the twins were ready to hear the full story from start to finish. Hermione, Harry, and Bill told them everything that had happened yesterday, starting with their arrival and their cautious ingress into the cave. Bill explained, with a few curse-breaking details for Fleur's benefit, how the boat would only take him and Harry to the island, and Hermione explained in enough detail that she hoped her fellow Magicals would understand the science, how she'd devised a way to talk to them. They relayed their argument of the potion and their efforts to find an alternative solution, and how Harry had finished the potion when he couldn't stand hurting Bill with it anymore. Bill called him a selfless Gryffindor idiot, to general agreement. When the Inferi attacked, Hermione described her insane kamikaze flight to reach the boys, causing jaws to drop around the room.
"You mean you flew blind, hanging under your broom through a hail of falling rock, and dove from 100 feet in the air into a swarm of flesh-eating Inferi to save our brother,"
George summed it up. Hermione shuddered at the memory.
"Don't remind me."
"And you never wanted to try out for Quidditch?" he grinned. "Ha, forget Quidditch," said Fred. "She should have played Creothocon."
"Boys," she chided them, "just because I can do a few stunts doesn't mean I actually like
George cut her off with a searing kiss. "Sorry, Hermione," he said when they broke apart, "but that's got to be one of the most badass and sexiest things you've ever done." At this, Harry broke out laughing.
"Oh, that's rich," he said. "Just wait till you hear what she did to the Inferi."
She rolled her eyes.
"You mean what we did, Harry?"
"Oh, and what did you do to the Inferi?" Sirius asked with an edge to his voice. "She destroyed them, that's what."
The voice was Bill's, and it sounded hollow. He drew his knees up to his chin where he sat.
300 Inferi, and she tore them all to pieces in 3 minutes.
"What?" they gasped. "How?
What did she do?" "That's Dumbledore-level stuff there."
Guys! She cut them off. "It's not like it sounds."
Seriously, was Fred comparing her with Dumbledore?
"I did it with a lot of help, and it was Harry's idea."
"Yeah, but you did it a hell of a lot better than I did," Harry insisted. "Trust me, it was mostly you, Hermione," Bill insisted. "I've seen a lot of scary stuff, but I've never seen anything that scary." "But just what did you do?" Sirius demanded.
"I made a coil of wire that was super strong and flattened with sharpened edges. I tangled the Inferi in it, and it cut them to pieces," she answered.
They didn't understand, though, and it took an extensive explanation, with diagrams and a small demonstration, to get across just what she'd done. When she did, everyone looked a little more nervous around her. Bill still looked scared, and more than a little worried about the implications.
"Okay, Hermione, I think you've gone past badass and into just plain terrifying," George said. "A tenth of that many Inferi should have killed you all," Sirius pointed out.
"It really wasn't as impressive as it sounds,"
she insisted.
Hermione, do you realize what that spell could do? Bill said. To a crowd or to a building full of people?
Yes, Bill, I do, she said firmly. But people are smart enough to notice what's going on, and wizards could easily find ways around it. Yes, it would be deadly in a fight, but that trick was uniquely suited to work against Inferi.
That calmed them a little, but she still thought she'd gone up a level in their minds, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing.
Okay, so that's how you got out, Sirius said when they were done. Let's see the Horcrux now.
Harry retrieved Hermione's Horcrux carrying case and unsealed it. From inside, he levitated a locket that looked very much like Hermione remembered Salazar Slytherin's locket from the memories, and he laid it on the table.
So that is it? Fleur asked.
That's it, Harry confirmed.
Is there anything inside?
Asked Fred, half joking.
Besides looming death, you mean?
Harry pointed out. Hermione shrugged as she looked upon it.
Might be useful to check, she said. You'll want wands at the ready, though.
They all looked at each other and reached a consensus, raising their wands. Hermione got her basilisk fang out in its protective case in case this went horribly wrong. Harry pointed his wand at the locket and cast.
Alohomora.
The locket clicked open. They all flinched, but nothing else happened. There was a folded piece of parchment sitting between the locket halves.
What's that?
Hermione said, as a sinking feeling began to creep up on her. Harry summoned the parchment and opened it with hesitant fingers. His face fell.
What is it?
Bill asked. It's a note, he said shakily, and he read it out loud. To the Dark Lord. I know I will be dead before you read this, but I want you to know it was I who discovered your secret. I have stolen the real Horcrux, and I intend to destroy it as soon as I can. I face death in the hope that when you meet your match, you will be mortal once more. R.A.B. Sirius fell out of his seat. But Fleur provided a distraction when she shrieked in a bird-like screech of anger.
It's a fake, she shouted. My husband nearly died, and you didn't even get the real Horcrux?
Fleur, keep it down, Bill said.
I will not keep it down, William Weasley. You go off on this reckless mission without even telling me, poison yourself, and you don't have anything to show for it?
Fleur, I'm sorry. We never could have predicted.
I am not angry with you, William. I am angry with this R.A.B. Chine who wasted all your work and blood. I love you too much to lose you like that.
Bill opened his mouth to respond as she suddenly clung to him, but he was interrupted when Sirius said, Regulus. Everyone stopped as they noticed Sirius had fallen and was sitting on the floor.
Ooh?
Fleur said in confusion.
R.A.B. is my brother, Regulus Arcturus Black.
Your brother? Harry gasped.
I told you about him, didn't I? The one who turned Death Eater and you know who killed him? My God, I thought he'd just got cold feet, but this... He actually found out about the Horcruxes and stole one.
Hermione gasped.
Oh no! So you know who killed him, took the Horcrux back and hid it somewhere else?
Crap, if he did, we're screwed twice, George said. How can we find it now?
Now, hold on, that doesn't make sense, Harry said. If Regulus stole one, he could have found out about the others and tipped someone off to them. Why wouldn't you know who have hidden all of them again?
But if Regulus didn't find out about the others, did he? Said Sirius. I mean, it sounds like the idiot thought the locket was You-Know-Who's only Horcrux. I mean, if we're really lucky, Regulus did manage to destroy it, and You-Know-Who really did kill him for getting cold feet, but I wouldn't bet on it.
I don't know, Harry countered. We still found the fake locket. If You-Know-Who found out it was tampered with, he wouldn't have just left it there.
True, I don't know. We need to find out if Regulus actually destroyed the locket.
But how? Asked Hermione. Regulus is dead.
Yes, Sirius said slowly, but there is something. It's a long shot, but there's one person still alive who knew Regulus well, as much as it pains me to ask him.
Who?
Creature! There was a loud crack, and Creature appeared in the room.
Blood Traitor Master calls Creature? He muttered to himself. Why does he do it? Master says the house is unsafe and leaves Creature there for months. Why does he call now?
Creature, listen to me, Sirius snapped. I have questions for you.
Creature will answer, master, if he can. The elf spoke a little louder. Creature lives to serve the House of Black.
Sure you do, Sirius sneered. What can you tell me about how Regulus died, Creature? Creature's eyes bulged horribly at once and looked like they could pop out of his head.
Can't say,
he ground out, and he started crying. Creature? Sirius said in surprise. Creature, what is this? What are you crying about?
Sirius,
Hermione chastised softly. Creature dropped down and banged his head on the floor.
Can't say, he croaked. Master Regulus ordered Creature not to tell.
Creature, stop that, Sirius snapped. He froze, still lying on the floor. Regulus ordered you not to tell me how he died?
Not to tell any of Master's family, Creature muttered.
Of course, it had to do with the Horcrux, he said. Anyone else in the family would have ratted him out to you-know-who in a heartbeat.
But Sirius, you're his master now. Can't you override Regulus's order?
Hermione asked. I could try, but look at him. The stress might kill him. Elves don't do well with conflicting orders. They stared at each other in silence. Hermione had never really seen that problem with Dobby, but Dobby wasn't normal, and she had seen it with Sonia on occasion. An elf who was abused, but still loyal, like Creature, might be much worse. But then she remembered a particular incident involving Sonia when she tried to disobey orders from Umbridge.
He can tell Harry, she said. Sirius, order him to tell Harry.
Okay, he said. Creature, I order you to tell Harry how Regulus died. Creature looked up at him, and then at Harry. He looked relieved, as much as he ever did.
Master orders Creature to tell half-blooded Spawn. Creature must obey, he said to himself.
Oldest trick in the book, thought Hermione. Literally, it was in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Master Regulus served the Dark Lord faithfully, Creature said, staring at Harry. He was so proud to serve, and the Dark Lord liked his loyalty. One day the Dark Lord came to Master Regulus and asked for the services of an elf.
You know who needed an elf? Harry said, and most of the room was equally surprised. You-know-who didn't seem like the type to even think about elves. Creature didn't answer Harry, though. He curled in a ball and started rocking back and forth.
Master Regulus was honored to offer a Creature, he said. He ordered Creature to do whatever the Dark Lord wanted and then to come home. The Dark Lord took Creature to a cave.
Half the room gasped. So that was how Regulus found out.
And there was a lake, Bill said. Yes, and a boat, and an island, and a potion. The Dark Lord made Creature drink it. All of it? Hermione squeaked. Mudblood speaks to Creature, he growled. Creature does not answer to her.
Creature, answer her question, Sirius ordered, and don't call her Mudblood.
The Dark Lord made Creature drink all the potion, and Creature saw horrible things. But how? Hermione whispered. That was 3 quarts.
So?
So at his size, 3 quarts of water should have killed him.
Sirius shrugged and said, Magic? Worry about it later, Hermione, Bill cut in. She fell silent and let Creature continue his story.
Creature needed water. He drank from the Black Lake, but dead hands reached up and dragged Creature under.
Good God, Hermione said. How did you get away? Harry whispered. Creature suddenly became calmer and looked him in the eyes.
Master Regulus ordered Creature to come home.
Yes, but how did you escape the Inferi? The elf didn't understand the question.
Master Regulus ordered Creature to come home. He means, how did you get out of the cave, Creature? Hermione clarified. Creature went home to Master Regulus.
He apparated, Sirius figured it out. He didn't have to go through anything.
But that doesn't make any sense, Hermione said. Anti-apparition wards. Creature apparated to Master Regulus, the elf confirmed. But you couldn't have.
Elf magic is different, Hermione, said Sirius.
There are ways to stop elves from apparating too, she insisted. Creature was not stopped. Creature went home to Master.
Her jaw dropped as it dawned on her.
But then, she said. Then she shouted, Elf apparition wasn't blocked? You mean we could have had Dobby with us that whole time last night? That would have solved everything. Oh my God, I'm an idiot, and so's you-know-who. How can someone as smart as him be so stupid?
Arrogance, Harry said without missing a beat. Insanity, Sirius suggested a moment later.
Loss of humanity, I'd wager, Bill said, from all the Horcruxes. But yeah, it sucks we didn't have Dobby. I guess you didn't think to ask? I did think of it, she said. I didn't think it was worth asking. Now I feel like a total idiot, and you and Harry nearly died because of it.
Well, you more than made up with it with what you did to the Inferi, Hermione, Harry assured her.
But let's just say that's done is done, and agree to always ask in the future, said Bill.
Hermione sighed and nodded her agreement, although from the look on Fleur's face, she didn't think Bill's wife would forgive her so easily.
Okay, Creature, so you made it back, Harry said. But how did Regulus die?
Creature started rocking again.
Master Regulus was very disturbed when Creature told him what happened. He spent a long time in the library, and after that he ordered Creature to take him to the cave.
And he made you drink the potion again? Harry asked.
No,
Hermione gasped, and Sirius said,
Merlin's beard! Regulus? Why? How? How was that idiot not a Gryffindor like me?
Master Regulus was loyal to his family, Creature answered with a sneer at Sirius. But he was very worried about what the Dark Lord had done. He ordered Creature to switch the locket in the basin with another one just like it, and to destroy it, and never tell Mistress what he had done. He was sobbing now. Master Regulus was not strong enough. He ordered Creature to leave without him when the hands dragged him down.
Finally, Hermione was overcome by emotion, and she cried out,
Oh, Creature,
and tried to wrap her arms around him in a hug. This did not have the desired reaction.
He kicked her in the face.
True, a kick from a house elf hurt no more than a kick from a petulant 3-year-old, but it was the principle of the thing. Creature scratched at himself like he was trying to get something filthy off himself and groaned. The mudblood touched Creature. He will not allow it. What would his mistress say?
Don't call her mudblood,
Sirius repeated, but Creature was already banging his head on the floor.
And I forbid you to punish yourself. Waste of time. Where's the real locket now?
Gone,
Creature croaked.
Gone? Gone where?
Creature grumbled for a minute and answered,
Mundungus Fletcher.
Oh, for the love of Merlin, Sirius spat. We're gonna need Mad-Eye. He's the only one who can find him. Don't mention the Horcruxes, though. Just tell him we need dung and leave it at that.
Here's the thief, Mad-Eye Moody growled, and he threw dung at Sirius's feet.
Thanks, Alistair. I'll take it from here, Sirius told him. Gotcha, he grunted. Call me if any real action comes up.
Will do. A few minutes later, and Dung was in Sirius's flat being interrogated.
You've got nothing on me, he said.
I've got a house elf who says you took a rare and valuable locket from my house, Sirius said, and held up the fake one. A duplicate of this one. Where is it?
What's it to you?
It's mine. I want it back. That's hippogriff dung, Black. You never wanted any of your family junk. Maybe I changed my mind, so where is it? What if I don't say, huh? You're gonna curse me? You're a good guy. I spent 12 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit, Sirius said with a manic grin. That changes a man. There's a lot I could do to a lowlife like you, and if I run out of ideas, I'm sure Hermione could think of some new ones.
Dung looked past Sirius to see Hermione standing behind him, glaring at him. She wanted to tell Sirius to leave her out of this, but she held her tongue.
Did you hear what she did to Dolohov last year? He added.
Mundungus looked between the two of them fearfully.
Okay, I was just joking, he said. Look, here, I still got the damn thing on me. No one trustworthy interested in buying these days. Must be the Slytherin crest.
And then, from a hidden pocket of his robes, he miraculously produced the real Horcrux.
Here, take it back if you want it so bad.
Sirius grabbed the locket by the chain and handed it back to Hermione. "Thank you very much, Mundungus," he said. "Obliviate."
For the record, I still don't like memory charms,
Hermione said when he'd left. "I had to do it," Sirius said. "I didn't take much, just the memories of the locket. Can't risk anything getting out. So that's it, crisis averted."
I suppose so, she agreed.